Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about what I spent in October. In case you're new here, I am a 35-year-old woman from the southwest of England. I live with my partner and we currently have no children. We live with our two cats, one an older cat, and we've recently had a younger kitten, so you'll see a few bills related to that in my spending. In case you watched my last video and you were curious about our IVF funding, unfortunately we haven't been put through yet. We've got another 6-month wait. Basically the hospital weren't happy with some of our stats, so we've got 6 months to get them reduced. And then we can ring back up in April and book another appointment. So fingers crossed for April. But in case you're wondering, because I thought that I'd probably be factoring in hospital appointments into my future budgets, but I don't think I'll be needing to at the moment because I'm not expecting any follow-up appointments until 6 months time. Anyway, before we get into the budget, some of you may know that I had also been doing a bit of a budgeting challenge. I've been calling it the 75 Hard Personal Finance Edition. And just to recap, I'll just go over the rules. So that was to track everything you spend, have no unplanned spending, do 15 minutes of wealth education a day, so that could include a podcast, read a book, watch a YouTube video, review your budget and make one small wealth action. So while I've got you at this angle, I just wanted to mention that I recently had to go into my local town, and I am a member of the library, mainly because I don't have a printer at home and I use my local library if on the odd occasion I ever need to print off anything. And I think it's quite good to try and make use of the library because it is a free resource. I mean, you do have to pay for any printing, but it's pennies. It's like 15p a sheet. But if you don't use them, you lose them, right? While I was in the library, I thought I'd check out a book. So this is probably back to front to you, but it's called What They Don't Teach You About Money, 7 Habits to Unlock Financial Independence. And the author is Claire Barrett. So I checked this out at the library. I've got till 18th of November, and I believe my challenge is finishing on the 15th of November. So I'm not the fastest reader, so I expect that this book will probably take up the rest of the challenge for me, because I've only got a couple of weeks left. I did see another book in there that I'm tempted to get, so if I do manage to finish this in time, I will go and check out another book that I saw in there, but this is what I'll be reading for now. Just thought I'd mention it as I'm at this angle. I will be moving you over shortly to my other angle, to the booklet. Oh dear, I had a bit of an issue with filming. I had already filmed this and I guess I didn't hit play on my camera. So sorry if you end up getting a video that doesn't sound like it goes together very well. I think the last where I left off was on the 17th of October, so I'll just run through what I've spent since then. So I spent on the 18th of October, my bill for my Apple subscription came out and that was 99p. On the 18th of October I went grocery shopping and put £80 on my Everup app, bought a gift card. I think it was for Aldi. I should have made a note of that. That was silly of me. And that was one of 2 full grocery shops that I've done, and we'll go on to that shortly. On the 19th of October I did a little shop at my local shop, and there's a few of these coming up, and that was £5.44, and I think it does make a difference when you start spending at your local shop as opposed to doing a full-on grocery shop, because you could do this every day and spend a ridiculous amount, because it is always more expensive to shop local. I know you should try and keep open the local shops, but it's just so expensive, and look after pennies, the pounds look after themselves. On the 19th of October, I also spent £9.99 on Moonpig. I've put that under the birthday section. There is a bit of a story behind that. So I am quite good at checking my emails, or so I thought, although there has been 2 occasions where that has scuppered me this month. This was actually a subscription payment to Moonpig. So I have a lot of family members that don't live anywhere near me, including my mum. She's about an hour and a half drive away from me. And I know I could buy a card in a local shop and I could post it using a stamp, but I like using Moonpig because you can make cards, and their general cards aren't any different to what you could buy in your local supermarket. You might get them cheaper in like Card Factory, but I don't have a Card Factory near me, unfortunately. And buying a book of stamps now I know can get quite expensive, so I do use Moonpig. And I can't remember, the subscription gets you, I think, money off postage, and you get bigger cards, I think it is. But I wasn't expecting to spend that. But equally, I haven't seen my mum this month, so she hasn't had her meal out with me that I was going to pay for. She's been busy, so that'll be coming up in November instead, I'm sure. On the 20th, I put £10 into my money box account, so that's £5 into my LISA and £5 into my pension. Then there's quite a big gap between the 20th and then the 25th, where I then spent £42.20 on a takeaway. It's in part of the eating out category I've put it under. And we paid for a Chinese. On the 25th, spent £55.26 at Zoo Plus. That was for 2 list trays for my cats, and there's like a free pack, free ×2 economy pack of the litter. So I have bulk bought for them. I needed 2 list trays because sometimes we have to separate them into different rooms because my kitten can get a bit too much for the older cat. They're starting to tolerate each other, but I do try and separate them just to give her a bit of a break, because he's constantly wanting to play and she doesn't want to. And the reason I needed to get 2 new ones, well, I needed an extra one, but I had to buy a new one because the other litter tray had a crack in the bottom and I didn't want my cats to hurt their paws on it, so got some new ones. 25th of October, I spent £4 and I've put that under the fun category, and that was, I've put Amazon Movie, but it's not, it's Paramount Plus I've subscribed to. So at the moment they've got an offer, if you've not subscribed to them before, through Amazon, that you pay £4 a month for the first 3 months, and it goes up to £7.99. And there was a series that we wanted to watch on there, which we have now watched, so I will probably cancel that. I'll probably take advantage of the next 3 months if there's things that we want to watch on there, but if not, I'll just cancel it. I'm not going to pay £7.99 for another streaming service. Again on the 25th, local shop again, £14.34. Also on the 25th there was a vet bill of £20.70, and that was because my elderly cat, I think I mentioned in a previous video, she has got arthritis, and that was for some pain relief for her, and it seems to be working out quite well. The vets have said to me that in the future, if she continues to have it, we'll have to do some blood tests, and just to make sure, because she's an older cat, they want to make sure that her kidneys are functioning correctly, and should that be okay, they will write a prescription for me and I can take that away with me, and we can order online, which I think they said would be about 40% cheaper. So I am going to do that in the future, and I think that's quite nice of them to say they'd do that for me. 27th of October, I went to Morrison's and spent $25.99. Couldn't get a voucher. In fact, the last few days, my local town has got a real problem with internet access on your phone. It says you've got 5G, but you haven't got anything. The internet just doesn't work, and that seems to be for the case for quite a few people. Don't know what's going on, whether there's something blocking it. God knows. Usually I am prepared, and I do buy my voucher when I'm at home and then go to the shop. I have, on the odd occasion, bought the voucher in the shop, but it can take about 5 minutes for the voucher to appear or to load up, so it depends if you've got a big queue behind you, if you want to risk that. But I usually do it either at home or while I'm sat in the car before I go into the shop, but it just wasn't working on this day. On the 27th of October, I spent £30 and a penny on petrol, and also on the 27th, my next payment for Moneybox went out of £10. Also on the 27th, I put £15 into my emergency fund, and that money has come from, in my previous video, I mentioned I have the app called One Pulse, which is like a survey site, and it was very close to being at the value that it could pay out. And so I hit that, and that was $20, and I think it paid me something like £14.78. So I just rounded up to £15 to put into my emergency fund. Then on the 29th of October, I went to Sainsbury's and spent £16.14. That was kind of unexpected. I had hoped to go in and use my Sky rewards voucher, but again, like, the internet wasn't working, I couldn't load it up. And anyway, when I got home and checked it, it said that the vouchers had run out by that point anyway, so it must have been the day they were ending them before they started a new one. And I think this week it's a pizza from what I could see. I'm hoping that I might finally get one, so we'll see. 30th of October, so it's our work Christmas meal is in December, and they've booked that, and we had to pay £10 deposit for that, so I've done that. And then also on the 30th of October, I spent £8.99. I'll show you what that was on. My uncle has just published a book, so just zoom out. So hopefully you can see that. It's called An Artless Deceit, a Midford Abbess mystery. I think it's just a non-violent mystery book from what he said, and that's his pen name, AJ Varley. It is his first published work, but yeah, obviously had to buy it because he's a family member, and I will be taking it over to him this weekend to get signed for me. I spent 27 on the 27th. I forgot to mention, I forgot to add it further up. I put £10 into my Trading 212 account, and that was off the back of one of my wealth education videos that I watched, and it was from a guy who I will just look up for you now. So the channel name was David Bell at Fink Money. That's Fink with an F, F-I-N-K, Money. There was a few assets he talked about buying. I think the video was called If I Was to Invest Starting in 2026. I didn't follow everything that he said. I've just bought one particular share, but I will go over that in a future video. And then finally, I had an unbudgeted £50.28 on home insurance, and there is a bit of a story behind that. So I kept getting emails from confused.com saying that my home insurance was due, so which I wasn't aware of. I did a comparison and found initially that there was a good deal, or the best price that was coming up was with Hastings, and I've got my car insurance with Hastings, and they were coming out at something like £75. Anyway, took it out because it was the best one I could find, and I was quite surprised I couldn't find any emails about renewals other than from confused.com. Whoever I was currently with, I hadn't seen the emails from them, and I'm really diligent with my emails. I know I said about the Moonpig thing earlier, but I am, anything to do with insurances, things like that, I'm usually spot on with it. And so I went through confused.com, and confused.com had an offer where they'd give you a voucher, and it was going to be, for me, I was going to take advantage of a £20 Sainsbury's voucher. You could have had Halfords, and there was another store, I can't remember where it was, but don't need anything from Halfords that I'm aware of, and the other store I don't think I'd even heard of, or it's not in my local area, so I thought £20 to Sainsbury's, perfect. As well as that, they give you some free drinks, one a month for a year, at Greggs I think it was. Anyway, towards the end of the day I got a letter through the post from Admiral saying they tried to take my renewal for my home insurance, and they were going to be charging me £55. And as it turns out, I had the money in my account, but they had old bank details, so I rang them up and I said, look, I've just taken this out with Hastings, etc. And they quoted £55 and I don't know, 87 pence or so. Rang them up and they were like, oh, well, we don't want to lose you. You've been with us for 4 years. And they said, we're also going to give you a loyalty bonus if you stay with us. So they took another £5 off. So that's how it came to £50.28. So I had to then call up Hastings and be like, look, can't go with you anymore. I've gone with Admiral, this is the price. And they were like, oh, we'd like to save you too. So they tried, but in the end they said no, they couldn't match it. So I'm staying with Admiral. And that's that. But that is why that is unbudgeted, because I swear I didn't get any emails from them. I've gone through and looked and I haven't. It's just a letter that I've had from them. I've now gone on and signed up to their I guess I hadn't registered with them before. Even though I had insurance with them, I hadn't registered for like an online account. I have done that now, so I can actually see my account with them. I'm just going to flick forward and move this across. So hopefully you can see that. So as I've said, I've got 3 transactions that were unbudgeted: home insurance, the parking, and my I went overboard with New Look. I have put quite a bit in savings this month, so I will be doing my trackers shortly. So £414, and I've made £346.97 in credit card payments to my credit card provider. So, sorry, I do need to flick back here. Hopefully you can see that. It's not too shadowy. So my normal household bills, they were the same as usual. Petrol, I did spend this month a lot less. That's because I've had a few less trips to work. Or I have actually been away with work, but my travel is paid for if I go elsewhere. So I had budgeted £120 and I'd spent £70 and 2 pence. The thing is with the groceries, so I always budget £400, and this is the second month in a row I've been quite a lot under, so £305.80. But I reckon I could have done better had I actually gone and done some grocery shopping and not spent so much at local shops, because my local shop is quite expensive for what you're getting. Sometimes it can be ridiculous how expensive it is in comparison to if you were to go to a supermarket. I do get support local, but these are hard times. Eating out, so I had planned £150, so we only spent £54.10. It would have been more had that takeaway gone through. And after the hospital we had planned to go out for a lunch, but we just didn't feel like it. So it would have been more, but we just ate at home in the end. Over here, so fun money for once did spend quite a bit less, and that was £70.19 out of the £200 budget I'd set. And birthdays I'd set £100 and only spent £39.99, but I'm going to have to sort of roll that over, because it's, like I said, my mum's birthday and I will see her as soon as she's not too busy. She goes out, she had a few plans with her friends instead, so she went and did that. So I'll hopefully see her in November, so I'll put that into November's budget. And then I have gone over, kind of in a way, so on the vet bill front, so didn't go over on my payment to the vets that goes out for their flea and worming treatment and vaccines. That was £38.48. That came out as normal. Their food came a little bit under, that was £74 and a penny, and I'd budgeted £80. Insurance, so I think I told you last time, I cancelled my older cat's insurance, and I've now just got the kitten's insurance, and that hasn't actually been taken this month, and I think that's because of all the refund and it's sort of working itself out. So I think that will start again from next month. But then I did have the vet bill for £20.70, and that was for the medication for my older cat. So that is October. I did mention in my video last time that I should be getting £100 payment for like an online survey thing that I did for a Teams call. I did chase that up because I still haven't received that, so I had hoped to put that into my emergency fund and had hoped to build that up a bit more by now, but I chased it up and they said it can take up to 14 days, so I should be getting that at some point. So now we'll do my trackers. We'll do the debt payoff one first. So, oh, that's a really scabby red pen. Let's get a nicer one. So I think we said this was going to be £100, so it paid £346. So we'll do 3 of these. That. And then my emergency fund. So we've paid in £265, but these are worth £50 each, so we can only colour in 5. So I've just emptied out my purse and counted up change, and I have got a total of £7.50 to put into my tin. Before I start scratching coins around, I'm just going to pre-warn anyone wearing headphones. I'm just about to put this into my tin, so it will be noisy. I've got my tracker to fill in, so I've got £7.50. Hopefully you can see the numbers. So along this row here we've got 2, 4, 6, and then we'll do £1 to make that 7, and then we've got 50p. So I think I'll do uh, 20, 40, and then 50. And that's that. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you did like this video, please consider subscribing. Coming up, I will be doing what I bought in my Trading 212 account in the month of October. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you again soon. Bye.